Hi, my name's Louise West. I'm actually a friend of Kelly Rousham. I first met her at Nepean High School and she was a beginning teacher there. And that was, it's 17 years ago, so I knew her from that time. One of the first trips, Kelly was an avid traveller and she loved meeting people. And one of the first trips that we went on together was in 2012, and that first trip was basically we went through India, and that's when she did these beautiful drawings. And these guys were gurus at the time, and I can remember taking a photo of her with the three guys, and they actually were all really stoned at the time. So they were lovely guys, beautiful, the colours they wore, but they were really, as I said, stoned. This was in Cambodia. That was a lady that was selling things, and these were two of Cambodia as well. This little girl, I think a lot of the places in Cambodia, she had a snake around her neck and they would pay people to take photos with her. And this guy up here is, she loved this guy. He was actually the guide on her trip, and that's her dad, because he took them back to their village, and they actually bought a bike for the village so that they could actually use that bike because the people were extremely poor. This is a very significant painting in Kelly's body of work. This is the same boy here, and this was from her first trip to Africa. You'll see that he's standing here and he's wearing one boot, and he's a very proud little boy, but this was one of the paintings that was extremely important to Kelly. Now these works here, they're very colourful. They're from West Africa, and when she went through to West Africa, you will notice in here that there's quite some significant paintings. This boy here was very important to Kelly. You will see that he's there washing his shoes. They were his most incredible possession. He's washing them with a pot with dirty water in the pot, washing them, and he's just so proud that he actually had shoes, because most kids don't. You'll see in all of these paintings that you'll have a beautiful colourful background. Now the colourful background is basically reminiscent of the material that all of the people wore. They were often beautifully dressed, especially the women, and she, instead of having a brown background, she used the colours of the people because she absolutely loved the people from this area. You'll notice with this one here, it was quite significant, and Kelly was really quite affected when she came back from West Africa and the areas around there, because she realised how poor their children were and how often that they were probably dying of starvation. And she spent a lot of time with the kids, feeding them and playing with them, and they were very important to her. This guy here was from her first trip to Africa, and that was from Zanzibar. Now this guy, he actually met us on the beach, and it was quite funny because he was there selling and he was in all of his great gear. And then one of the ladies that I spoke to later on told me that she actually saw this guy come off the beach, take off his clothes, put on a pair of jeans, a pair of slides, a shirt, and jumped into a BMW and drove off. These paintings here were from 2018. Kelly was greatly affected by what was happening in Israel and also Palestine. She had a lot of, she was worried about the people from Palestine, because what we found over there was that the Palestinians were actually controlled totally by the Israelis. Palestine itself was a very poorer place than you could see in Israel, and like the Banksy wall was incredible. She spent a lot of time walking along that wall and looking at things on that, and you can see parts of that in the painting here. It was quite significant to her, but she, after coming back, she was very vocal about helping Palestine. I believe that this is Kelly. Absolutely, that is her. This was from a quick trip that she had to Japan at one point, and in this one it kind of brings out the things that she found funny about Japanese society. So for example, they had a lot of vending machines. They had vending machines where you could buy used underpants. You could also buy these little tops that the men would wear, and the wigs and so forth, and she found it really, really funny. So you will see with these photographs, she loved Japan, but she also thought it was a pretty funny place to go to. And these are some pictures that were completed by some of our students. She was only at our school barely 9 weeks, but she was significantly affected by the kids. They even did a portrait of her. But the kids, they absolutely loved her, and I think it's testament to what she could do in 9 weeks, because she could relate to people wherever she was, whether she was traveling or teaching. She just had this wonderful charisma where she could actually connect with other people, and it's testament to her.